Welcome. And as always, I can tell you that I really appreciate any comments or questions or thoughts you may have. So if you want to just record them when in the place where you can. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And I just want to welcome Judith back, and I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful trip.
I sure did.
Lovely. We'll hear about that later, hopefully. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Are you hearing a lot of ambient sounds, or is it okay? Only because I'm running a dishwasher.
We did. Yeah, we did hear it, but not so much now.
Okay, I can put in the headphones and see how that goes.
It's okay right now, I think.
All right, well, it's okay. It's no trouble. I have them actually right here. So we're on Parshat Pinchas, and to a really cool section. And Rashi actually gave us a little spoiler by telling us, because the part that we just dealt had to do with inheritance. And let's see, 1 second. And he told us that right after that, we would have a little section about a specific laws of inheritance, and in fact, with the daughters of Tzlofchad. And it's really a cool little part here, partially because we see an issue of women's rights, and we also actually have an example of oral Torah right here in the written Torah. So, Vatikravna benot Tzlofchad, and the daughters of Tzlofchad, Ben Chefer, the son of Chefer, Ben Gilad, the son of Gilad, Ben Machir, the son of Machir, Ben Menashe, son of Menashe, the Mishpachot Menashe ben Yosef, from the families of Menashe, son of Joseph. The Ele Shmot Benotav, and these are the names of his daughters: Machla, Noah, the Chogla, Umilka, the Tirza. So he had 5 daughters, right? And they come now, as you'll see, before Moses to present their case. So let's make sure I've got the place here. Here we are. So Rashi notices something interesting. He says, "Lemishpachat Menashe ben Yosef." He says, according to the from the families of Menashe, son of Joseph. So the point about this is you have this genealogy going back to Menashe, right, son of Joseph. And in addition, it says, according to the families of Menashe, son of Joseph. Well, it just says son of Menashe. Why does it need to repeat the name Menashe? It could have just said, well, I guess it couldn't have said that, but it didn't have to say Ben Menashe. We would have understood. But the question is, why this repetition of this word Menashe, of the name Menashe? So he says, Lama ne'emar. So why do we say this? V'halok kfar ne'emar bo ben Menashe. It already says, son of Menashe. So what's the point of this? Ella. So the reason is, lomar lacha, to tell you, Yosef chibev et haaretz, to tell you just how much Joseph loved the land of Israel. Shne'emar, as it states, again, Rashi's trying to be rigorous here, Genesis chapter 50, it says, Ve'elitim et atzmotai, you shall take up my bones, and etc., Vagomer, etc. And just to refresh our memories regarding the context, okay, this is in the very, very last section of Genesis, where even though Joseph spent the majority of his life in the land of Egypt, and in fact reached great preeminence there, great success, great power, nevertheless, he predicted to the his brothers and the people, his family around him, that they were going to, in fact, experience the Exodus. Yes, Lauren.
Mine says Exodus 13:19.
No, it's impossible.
Uh,
That cannot
okay.
be.
It could be a
has to,
mistake.
it could be a mistake. You can't. Oh, Exodus 39. Forgive me. I think it's an alternative. Forgive me. I thought they were
Oh,
saying Genesis.
you know
It
what?
could be.
But
Yeah.
actually, in the Hebrew, I'm looking now at the Hebrew because I
Yes.
was looking at the English translation.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Hebrew it does say Bereshit. It says Bereshit Gimel Chaf
It's
Hey.
okay. So it's actually a nun, but the nun and the gimel look
Oh,
very similar. And so it's actually Bereshit Nun. It's chapter 50 of Genesis, and it could be 25. And it
so
does mention also that Moses took up the bones of Joseph, and probably refers to the fact that Joseph had asked them to do that. And that's of note. That's worthy of note, that despite the personal success that Joseph had experienced in the land of Egypt, it still was exile. It still wasn't the land of Israel. And he wanted to be buried in the land of Israel. So that's part of what this is informing us. Uvnotav, right? And his daughters, and of course it's talking here about the daughters of Tzlochad, Chavavu et haaretz. They also loved the land of Israel. Shneemar, as it says, Tna lanu achuzah. Give us, provide for us a possession, an inheritance. So it was important enough for them to have that their family have a possession in the land of Israel. And that raises some really beautiful and profound notions as to the significance of the land of Israel for the descendants of Jacob. And incidentally, of course, we realize that initially this promise was given to Abraham, and Abraham had other children, specifically Ishmael, but a whole bunch of other children as well. And of course, Isaac also had another child, Esau. Whether or not well, the Torah certainly seems to indicate that they were bypassed in terms of this deep connection to the land of Israel. And I have no doubt that so much of it has directly to do with the mission of the Jewish people, that the mission of the children of Israel is to assist and to be messengers and to be agents of the divine into this world, to bring that divine presence into the world. And of course, that geographic location, which is the nexus of Asia, Europe, and Africa, makes it prime in terms of that thought. So that's, it's not just a nationalistic attitude about it. And it's easy to confuse that, but that is not the reason why the Jewish people inherited the land of Israel. And if they try to, claim possession purely on a nationalistic basis, well, guess what? We've lost it as well. And we lost it for a long, long time. And it really is a miracle, that the Jewish people were able to return to the land of Israel. So the question now, of course, is the challenge that so many of us feel is how to do that in a peaceful way, in a way that in fact does represent a divine presence and the chesed of God, the kindness of God. It also teaches you shehayu kulam tzadikim, that every one of these girls, these women, were righteous. And Rashi explains a principle of interpretation in the Torah. Shekol mi shema'asav u'ma'aseh avotav, because anyone whose own deeds and the deeds of his ancestors, stumim, are not explicitly stated. Satum means covered up, hidden, right?
I wonder if he is cut out.
Can you not
Yeah,
hear
he's
me?
frozen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he is.
Probably can't hear us either.
Do you want me to stop a second?
You were frozen.
Yeah, it tells me late that, 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Now we can, but you keep freezing.
Okay, I don't know why my internet connection is unstable. It's claiming, okay, let me close some applications and see if that helps. Okay. And it could be that my computer needs to be refreshed. All right, let's try this. We'll see if this helps at all. How's okay? Am I at what point did I cut out? Can you tell me?
You had right at the beginning of what you were saying, basically.
Well, I was saying a lot.
About Rashi's principle.
Okay, then I know where to go.
About,
Good. Okay, so here we go. So it says "Lelamedcha shayu kulam tzadikim," right? That they were all righteous. Shekol mi shema'asav u'ma'aseh avodav, because anyone whose actions, whose deeds, and the deeds of his ancestors, stumim, are covered up, aren't mentioned explicitly. Uprat lacha katuv, and then from not having said anything about what they did, etc., etc. And then the scripture specifies for you the echad mehem, regarding one of them, leachso l'shevach, that is to connect him, okay, for praise, for merit. Hare zet tzaddik, and we can, in other words, if we read a specific incident concerning this individual that indicates that they were a worthy person, hare zet tzaddik, indeed this one is now considered a righteous person, ben tzaddik, the son of or the descendant of a tzaddik. So all these people, which also goes back to imply why the Torah here gives you the full genealogy of the daughters of Tzlofchad, all the way back to Joseph. So to tell you that they all were righteous people. By the way, we also just learned the last time in our last lesson that the women were not included in the Gzeirah, in the edict, where the people died within the 40 years wandering. That many of the women at that particular time, in fact, made it into the land of Israel. So there's every chance, of course, that the daughters of Tzlofchad, if any of them were born in the land of Egypt prior to that first census, that in fact they did get into the land of Israel. The im yachsu lignai, however, if they're connected for disgrace, in other words, if in the similar situation, the Torah then specifies regarding one of the people here that they are doing disgraceful behavior, could go on, and he gives an example, and this is from Kings, the second book of Kings, chapter 25. I cut out again. I'm cutting out again.
Frozen again.
You're frozen.
All right.
He just needs to put on a blanket.
Well, let's stop the show. That's it.
He did.
I see Golda. You should be able to see me now.
Hey,
Hi.
Harlan's coming too. Harlan was here.
He's having.
We could see you. We just keep freezing. You froze again.
Because you're not frozen. Nobody here is frozen. Should I try the screen share again?
Close out those applications.
Okay.
Or shut it down and restart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to reboot when you're on the.
I don't know. Okay.